Alright, so Planet Zoo 2, just Frontier, I guess, just released more animals for the Zoopedia, and it's always great to see that. But I feel sometimes like the Zoopedia is kind of lying to me, especially when it comes to like naming conventions. But I also realized after searching things up a bit, like all the kind of inconsistencies I noticed is actually due to how the what is it called, the red list, the IUCN are classifying animals or not classifying animals. So I can see why certain animals have names that I would personally not want Planet Zoo 2 to use, I guess. Like certain names like the Sumatran tiger having Sumatra instead of what is it called, like Sandica for the scientific name. I mean, sure, the site mentions it, that is also sometimes called that, but like for a game that wants to be scientifically accurate, I think they should kind of use like the current naming conventions and maybe change it back later, you know? I also noticed that the another, well, not another, because the Sumatran tiger is a base game animal, but like the deluxe animal, the long-finned batfish. Yes, the IUCN uses this name, but and also actually the I think the Latin name kind of like this part means like long-finned, and it's in reference to the baby, because the babies are really cool. The babies does not look like this, but yeah, I think the babies is what gives it the name. Same with like red-faced batfish. But longfin batfish is also a name for another species of batfish that's called the Platax terra, if I remember correctly, pronounce it correctly. I don't know. And I think I think that Planet Zoo should maybe call this the dusky one, because that's a more common name for this fish than longfin, because the longfin is confused together with another species. I also have the nitpicks of like the European bison. Sure, it's a correct name, but like Vicent is better. Like objectively, I think it's a better name, and it also does not confuse it together with the American bison, which is not a thing in this game yet. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know if they will add it or not. I hope they will. And also, the name Vicent was used in Planet Zoo 1, so why not in this game? There's also the case of, I don't remember right now, let me see. There we go. The common blue tongue is technically a correct name, but why can't they not call it a blue tongue skink or something like that? Blue tongue lizard. It just feels like common blue tongue kind of is lackluster in the name? I don't know. It's also, all of this is just me nitpicking. The sea turtle, they're just calling it a hawksbill turtle, which is like, yes, it's correct, but why not a hawksbill sea turtle? I guess that kind of turtle implies it's a sea turtle, but yeah. And there's also something interesting going on with the spotted eagle ray that was revealed this week. Because spotted eagle ray is not considered this species' name if you go with the Ateobatus ocellatus. Wow, I can surely read scientific names. Because spotted eagle ray is another species which, from I recall, is called a nari, however you would pronounce that. And the two species were considered spotted eagle ray, but they swapped them out. Like they split the maps and whatnot, not the maps, but like the range and whatnot. And again, the IUCN is considering this the name for this species, while other places think that the one that's called ocellatus is supposed to be an ocellated eagle ray. So I don't know what's going on there. But also, I did mention a little bit of the maps, like the map range on it. And the map ranges are interesting because I found quite a few like things that are not accurate, and I'm gonna show them. Just click around and show them. Because the maps are, I don't know how to explain it. Some of them are just slightly inaccurate. For example, I know the range of the brown bear. I think the red deer. I looked through all of these. There's a few of them that are just a little bit off, but not too badly, and it's probably due to map projection. You know, like how a map is drawn out and being flattened. It's probably due to that, but it's also a few things either colored in on the range maps that shouldn't be colored in or not colored in. I know there's like some areas of the fire salamander, I think, that's colored in that's not part of their range. But then there's some that's I don't know, I don't know. For example, the African leopard. This range is way too big for them. I know if you look at the IUCN, all this area is colored in. But the reason why it's colored in is because, let me just open it in a new map, is because the IUCN also mark out where it's extinct, and I think they might have, instead of doing like pocket population, they just accidentally colored in all of it, so I wish that would change. There's also the issues with our freshwater fish. Let's see if I can find them. Aquarium. I could have just clicked, but whatever. The African tigerfish is, I'm sorry, Frontier, but what is this range? I know filling in freshwater is, it's gonna be a pain filling in all of the lakes, the little rivers and all that in a whole continent. But why are not the Great Lakes filled in? It's just so funny to me. I'm sorry. Same with the brown trout, I think it is. I understand this. They do exist in brackish water. They do exist in all the fresh water that's around here in like Iceland, the UK, Sweden, part of Spain and all that. But, and I also realized this is the exact same map the IUCN uses. Like, if we were to click it up, this is the exact same map the IUCN uses. And I understand it's easy to just use that as a reference point. But there's some that are, I noticed that like a lot of these things come from the aquatic species in particular. So let's see, there's few more of them. The Fusilier, I think it's like, yeah, I'm sorry for not bringing up the actual maps, I've checked this before, but I know that the Red Sea, I think it is. This is the Red Sea, right? This part here is filled in, and they are specifically said to not exist there. which is an easy mistake to do. I don't blame you, Frontier. I do not. But then there's more interesting things. You know, like here, the Great Hammerhead. Why are the Great Lakes, like the Victoria, Tanganyika, those lakes in Africa filled in? Those are freshwater lakes for a saltwater fish, saltwater shark. That's a little bit suspicious, but it's not as crazy, if I can use it at that, as the hawksbill turtle. Have you seen the map of the hawksbill turtle? Why are both the Great American, sorry, that's Africa, but both the Great American and African lakes, like Lake Superior does not have hawksbill turtles, neither does the Caspian Sea or the Black Sea. In Eurasia, like, I understand how this mistake is done, but also, yes, that's a weird range. Same with like these lakes in Asia. I actually do not know these two lakes, but they are also filled in, and I'm pretty sure a saltwater oceanic creature is not living in those lakes. Again, I know these mistakes are due to the IUCN and looking at wrong maps. It's just how, from like how you just quickly colored in the map and mistakes happen, but I do wish it would be changed to be more accurate. Alright?